Hi and welcome back to Bounce Forward with me, Tiff Hall. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I'm recording this podcast, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to elders, past and present. Rachael wrote into me and she had such a great question. Does anyone know what to replace protein powder with whilst breastfeeding? I really want to have the coconut rough smoothie on your TiffXO plan, Tiff, but not keen to use protein powder. But I want to keep my nutrition good whilst feeding. Great question. Now, maintaining adequate protein intake whilst breastfeeding is essential for both you and the bub. Very, very important. So I've got some tips here, and I breastfed my son for a year and my daughter for a few months. That didn't go to plan. That's a whole other podcast on breastfeeding and bottle shaming and all of that stuff. But anyway, it went really well with my son. I was very, very focused on good nutrition during that time. And I didn't have protein powders during my time breastfeeding or any supplements, really. I was very crazy about what went into my body because it all flows through your milk. So some great sources of protein. Let's start there. Let's start with the basics because I never quite know what you know and what you need to know. So I always start with the basics. So lean meats and poultry. So you got your chicken, your turkey, your lean cuts of beef. You want to get these excellent high quality protein sources into your meals. Same with fish and seafood, but opt for low mercury fish like salmon, trout, sardines, which are rich in omega-3 fatty acids and they're so good for you. Eggs. Such a high source of protein, and you can have them boiled, scrambled, in omelets. They're so versatile and I love them. Your dairy products you want to hit hard because of the calcium and the essential nutrients. Your legumes, your beans, lentils, chickpeas, plant-based protein sources are really great and high in fiber. They're very important for you. Nuts and seeds, extra protein boost, your flax seeds, your chia seeds, your walnuts. You put them in salads and smoothies. Fantastic. And then you've got your whole grains, so your quinoa, things like that, higher in protein compared to other grains like rice and wheat. So quinoa is always a real winner. How do you increase your protein intake? So there's a list of proteins, but how do you increase it? So you want to plan balanced meals and ensure that you're getting that source of protein. So for example, you could add chicken or beans to your salads, have yogurt with your breakfast, and include fish or tofu for dinner, for example. Healthy snacks are really important. So choose really high protein snacks like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, hummus. I know a lot of my smoothies on TiffXO include cottage cheese, which are really great high protein sources. And I really love batch cooking. So preparing protein rich meals in advance and I freeze them. It's really good. And also just a note, always read labels when shopping and make sure that you're choosing things higher in protein. I've never been more thirsty than when I was breastfeeding. Like I was dying of thirst. I don't know what happens to you, but I was dying of thirst. And in the middle of the night, I was like, Ed, water. So stay hydrated, drink plenty of water because that's for your milk production. That's almost more important than the protein intake. So when you're breastfeeding, you're not only dying of thirst, but you're also more hungry, more snacky. Lean into the snacks. Make sure that you're always having good, high-quality snacks. It's very important. I had a little hydration station next to my breastfeeding chair with some snacks on it because I was always hungry. Now, if you're eating more protein, you're going to be fuller for longer, which is great, but still make sure that you are eating those snacks and that you're eating throughout the day and making sure that you are getting those calories in because those calories convert to the gorgeous breast milk, and it's so important that you're eating enough to produce the milk. Thanks so much for listening to Bounce Forward. I love having your company, so please DM me on Instagram at tiffhall_XO and let me know what topics and questions you'd love me to cover. Don't forget to rate and review me on your podcast app. Speak soon. Happy days.